Just over a year ago, I bought myself an Avata and set myself the challenge of learning FPV in 2 weeks. That's very me. Needless to say, it didn't quite go to plan. Looking back, I realised how hilarious that was and how I totally underestimated how hard FPV is and how much there is to learn. I then joined my local model heli club and I got access to an amazing space to mainly crash, but learn and crash again and learn. I also got access to a great community, so shout out to all the guys at the club. One person I met there was at Little Grey FPV, please go follow him. He eventually convinced me to buy my first proper quad, and so I went out and got a 3.5 inch Emax Babyhawk 03-2. This was hands down the best thing I ever did. The learning curve was huge. I had to learn about proper radios, ELRS, 03 units, batteries, charging, Betaflight config, and so much more. But the first time I flew the 3.5, I knew I was hooked. It was crazy how much better it felt than the Avata. Over the next few months, at Little Grey FPV and I became flying buddies and friends, helping each other to learn things, sharing tips and tricks and giving each other encouragement to keep learning and going. Even though at times we thought FPV felt impossible, there were many of those times, so a huge thank you to him for all the laughs and learning along the way. I then got a 5 inch and more recently a 7 inch. And along with a lot of sim work and practice time in the field, they've really transformed my flying. I crashed a lot. I still crash a lot. A few months ago I did my first flight outside of the training field, which still feels weird to say. And obviously just went straight for a fly over the ocean and a small cliff dive. Because it's me. If I wasn't hooked before, this really did it for me. After that, I even built my own 5 inch quad and then promptly crashed that into the ocean. It was a total loss, but I learnt so much. Flying is something that means so much to me. It provides me with this space to just get lost and immerse myself in focusing on one thing. It always helps me de-stress after a tough day, and I love the rewards you get from the time spent learning and practicing. Finally, I just want to say a massive thank you to my husband for his support in everything through this, putting up with me turning up hours late from the field after trying to find a lost battery, to spotting in the freezing cold, to listening to me talk about FPV endlessly. I really couldn't have done any of this without you, so thank you so much. My only advice really to other people is to get out there and fly. Keep flying, you'll get better, trust me.